They won't announce it. They won't hashtag it. One day you'll look around and he'll be gone. No post, no goodbye, no trace. Then months later, you'll see something, a quote, a move, a new name, and realize he didn't change. He became someone else entirely. You won't see a Sigma male trying to rebrand himself on social media with some generic new era caption. You won't catch him announcing a comeback, broadcasting his healing, or reintroducing himself to a crowd that stopped listening the first time. Sigma males don't do second acts. They don't pivot. They don't apologize for the past. They don't repaint what's already burned down. They either reinvent completely or they disappear without a trace. And when they vanish, they don't leave breadcrumbs for you to follow. They burn the maps. Because reinvention isn't a phase, it's a resurrection. And Sigma males don't rebuild to be seen, they rebuild to survive, to evolve, to never bleed in the same place twice. This isn't about image, it's about identity. And when a Sigma walks away from his former self, he doesn't ask for applause. He asks for distance. This is why you never see them coming back as a new version of the old thing. They don't reintroduce. They reappear, different, unrecognizable, untouchable. 1. If it no longer builds you, it no longer exists. The Sigma doesn't cling to dead things. The second something stops elevating him emotionally, mentally, spiritually, he buries it. No discussion, no memorial. Just a silent execution of whatever once had value and now has none. This includes people, relationships, friendships that turn parasitic, projects that once gave meaning but now feel like weight, emotional debts that aren't being paid. If it becomes a drain, he pulls the plug, instantly, permanently. You'll look up one day and realize you were left behind months ago. You just didn't know it because he didn't shout it. He simply moved on without a trace. That's not heartlessness. That's evolution with precision. 2. You don't polish ruins, you demolish them. Most people are addicted to hope. They cling to broken things in the name of healing. They stay in dying relationships, stagnant jobs, and toxic friendships, telling themselves it can be salvaged. Not the Sigma. He doesn't put a fresh coat of paint on rot. He doesn't do sentimental CPR. If it's dead, it's buried. If it's broken, it's gone. He demolishes what no longer serves him without ceremony because he knows this. Every second spent in denial is a second delaying destiny. He won't dilute his fire just to stay in a place that can't hold it. Sigma males don't renovate ruins. They raise the site and build something no one's ever seen before. 3. He builds from isolation, not influence. Reinvention doesn't need witnesses, it needs silence. The Sigma knows that opinions are the cheapest currency in a noisy world, and he doesn't trade in that economy. He goes ghost, not for drama, but for precision. Because in solitude, every distraction dies. In solitude, the real questions show up. Who am I without noise? What's left when the world goes quiet? And in that quiet, he builds. Alone, focused, uninterrupted. The Sigma doesn't consult the world to recreate himself. He strips it away. And what emerges isn't a better version, it's a new species. 4. He doesn't evolve. He detonates. Most people improve like software updates, small, manageable, invisible. Not the Sigma. His transformation is an implosion, a self-initiated catastrophe. He tears his own foundation down because he knows evolution doesn't come from comfort, it comes from chaos. He sets fire to the man he used to be because the only way to rebuild is through destruction. You'll see him go quiet, disappear, seem unstable. You'll think he's losing it, but what you're witnessing is the dismantling of an entire identity. And when he returns, he's not patched up, he's rebuilt from atoms. The old him, you won't even recognize the silhouette. 5. You will not find him where you left him. The version of him you remember is already dead, but you didn't notice when he started slipping away. Maybe it was when your replies became colder. Maybe it was when he started seeing you nodding while scrolling, eyes glazed over, pretending to care. Maybe it was when you confused his silence with weakness, when in fact, it was the prelude to erasure. He doesn't just vanish, he evolves out of frame. You won't find a trail because he doesn't leave one. He's not waiting for closure, He's building new laws to live by, new codes, new fire. You thought you could come back, rewind, reconnect. But the Sigma doesn't run in circles. He moves forward like time. No breaks, no mercy, no returns. And by the time you reach for him again, you're grasping at a ghost. Because the Sigma doesn't sit still. His absence is movement, his silence is growth. And your memory of him? Obsolete. 6. He burns quiet and reappears bright. There's no prelude to the comeback, no soft launch, no whispers that he's on his way back. He vanishes, cold, sharp, surgical, and while the world thinks he's fading, he's in solitude studying the game, planning an upgrade no one can predict. He doesn't beg to be seen, he becomes undeniable. He's not interested in returning as your comfort. He's returning as your mirror, to show you everything you ignored when he was still accessible. He walks back into the room and everyone pauses, not because they know what happened, but because they feel it. A silent, blinding glow that can't be explained, only respected. That's a Sigma's re-entry, not for revenge, but revelation. 7. He withdraws to starve old attachments. There are no breadcrumbs, no half-open doors, no late-night vulnerability dumps in your DMS. When a Sigma pulls away, he doesn't leave pieces of himself behind. He understands addiction, especially the emotional kind. He knows that even silence can be a trap if you're still checking the screen. So he starves the connection until it withers, not out of cruelty, but necessity. You'll try to guilt him, shame him, reframe him as the bad guy. But he's not coming back to soothe your story. He didn't just leave the room. He burned the part of himself that wanted you to follow. 8. He doesn't shapeshift to please. A Sigma male doesn't adapt to comfort others. He doesn't water down his fire because you can't handle the heat. If you were overwhelmed by his evolution, that wasn't his flaw, it was your limitation. He's not for everyone. He never was. But in a world full of clones, his refusal to compromise makes him magnetic and polarizing. He will never fake softness just to be liked. He doesn't want to be digestible. He wants to be real. So if his new form scares you, good. That means it's working. That means the weight he carries now can no longer be held by the same weak hands that once fumbled him. 9. He refuses reflection from past versions. He doesn't revisit old identities, doesn't reread old conversations, doesn't sit in memory's comfort. That old self, he killed it, and he doesn't light candles for corpses. So when you say you've changed, understand he's not ashamed, he's proud. Because that change was bought with pain, with isolation, with silence. He didn't just shift, he sacrificed. And he's not going back to pick up what he outgrew. 10. If he vanishes, you'll only meet a stranger. The next time you see him, if you're lucky enough to see him again, you won't recognize him. Not just in appearance, but in energy, in posture, in purpose. Because he's not revisiting the past. He's not trying to restore what broke. He's not asking for closure. He became someone else. And when you reach out, what you'll find isn't warmth. It's distance, not hate, but indifference so precise, it cuts deeper than rage ever could. On a final note, you don't get a second act when you've already buried the script. You don't get applause when you never step back on stage. Sigma males don't rebrand. They don't repaint. They don't repackage. They disappear. They bleed. They burn. They rebuild. Then they return unrecognizable. Or they never return at all. That's the choice. And for them, it's always been clear. If it's not total reinvention, it's absolute erasure.